And we're frozen again. It's this fun little game we play. Clear. All right, good morning and welcome in to another episode of Good Morning NASDAQ. Let me make sure we're popping up.
Good morning, NASDAQ.
Look at that. Huddy's on the East Coast. It is bright outside. It's 8:50 in the morning here on the 26th day of September 2023. We got Thomas in the chat. We got Ravi. We got Joseph. We got Happy Days.
Bro, Thomas in the chat? Love to hear it.
Thomas in the chat. Welcome in, everyone. Leave a message. Leave a like. You know how we work around here. A little sip of the coffee to start her off. You got a coffee?
Exactly how we work. If you guys don't hit the like button, management's not going to be happy. We like to have at least a 50% viewer to like ratio, or else me and Dom get yelled at for not doing a good enough job. That helps boost the channel and provide publicity to this channel, and we do this all for you guys because we love to do it.
Yeah, and management does have the ability to pull the plug on the whole thing, so it doesn't cost you anything. Hit the old like button. Make it easy on us. Make it easy on yourself. And if you aren't subscribed to the Clover Trading YouTube channel, we're here every morning, 5 times a week in the morning, one time on Wednesday nights for Wine Wednesday. You might as well just be in the loop. So subscribe to the channel. Helps us all out. Helps our relationship with management. Helps our relationship with you because it makes us feel like we're appreciated, and then we do even better work. All right.
Okay.
We'll let people filter in. Heidi's excited because I think there is a gapper today that's up over 60%.
I mean, there's something. There's something moving, and I like it.
All right, let's hop right into it then. Boom. Here is Scanner. Oh, the one that I had on there must be over $20 now. SLNO was the first one on my list.
Yeah.
We got a
8.58
million float, medium overall risk of dilution. What is mostly of it? 6.5 months of cash. Oh, they got tranche B and tranche A warrants. I haven't heard tranche since the Big Short. 250 exercise price, 175. And they got an active ATM of 7.6 million left. News. Let's see what's moving it.
This would be a terrible day to start your. This is one of the main reasons I don't short pre-market. This can be such a hey, how are you in the morning. If you're short anywhere in the 10s, 11s, 12s, you're like absolutely screwed right now.
We'll get to the chart here in a second. News is that Soleno Therapeutics announces positive statistically significant top-line results from randomized withdrawal period of study 6 or C602 of DCCR for Prader-Willi syndrome. Sounds good. And then yesterday they said they're going to present at the Cantor Global Healthcare Conference. All right. All right, let's head on over to the chart and see what we're working with here. SLNO. All right, first thing I noticed that kind of what we were talking about over the last 2 weeks, kind of about how for the most part we aren't touching most day one stuff pre-market, if not in the morning at all, long or short, but we're looking to identify charts that have spike ability. And we said stuff that is sideways, stuff that is bottom left to top right, stuff that is really not just straight up fade that's been dead for a year, that just has a red day every single day, and it's just a slow fade to oblivion. First thing I noticed here in SLNO, we have a little bit of a difference. Over the last 100 days, it's pretty much been channeling between 350 and 6, or 6, yeah, 6-ish, and pretty much going sideways. It's not clearly a downtrend. And the further I go back, we actually have an uptrend. Bottom left to top right. So spikeability, boom, check off of right off the bat. In terms of volume, the only real volume we have back on the chart did about 100 mil in 2022, towards the end of 2022, and that topped out in the 280s or 250 area. So we've already been consolidating above that, and then going back on the rest of the daily chart, not a lot of resistance, is there, Huddy?
No.
This is a scary one.
It's not as scary in my opinion. I mean, still probably not something I'm going to go after with a short, but I would have a short bias on it. I mean, it's already up a big percent as it is right now. Doesn't scare me as much. I still wouldn't go after it because I don't know what it can do today. I don't know what it's capable of.
Let me help
No,
you
like,
here. Let me help you here. It doesn't scare you because you're a disciplined trader who has realized where his edge lies.
well, yeah.
If you were a short bias trader who said at $8 a share this morning, okay, this stock's up from 4 to 8. We haven't seen a gap or more than 60% on the in the last 2 weeks. This is cake, right? This thing's gonna fade.
Thankfully, that's not how I trade.
No, but there are people out there, and we're trying to protect you from being one of those people because that is not an edge. Trading pre-market, man, I give credit to the people that do it really well because it is not for me. But what I am noticing here on this SLNO chart this morning, 1 minute chart, pre-market, pretty fluid, pretty voluminous, pretty liquid. So far conforming to trend, big spikes, higher lows, consolidation, new highs, consolidation. $4 to $20. Pretty big move so far, over 300% on the day. Nice to see, but it's not necessarily, in my opinion, like what we do next on this, because like for both of us, the answer is going to be nothing. Correct?
Well, and I guess to like go back to your question, like, am I scared of this? My thought process right now, and again, I don't trade it, so it's just like this is just for entertainment. Like it's already squeezed $16 a share. So, am I scared of it squeezing another $16 a share? In my mind, I feel like the worst of the worst, like whoever is being punished has gotten punished. Now, obviously, anything can happen and it could go another $16 a share, but in my mind, I would assume that most of the punishment has been dished, given how far this has already gone. But you never know.
You never know, but yeah, for me, best to stay away. This is something that will probably move to the forefront of my watch list for priority, not in terms of trading, but keeping an eye on, seeing if people are stuck. What's the story on Twitter and chat rooms? If there's a big whale stuck, it's just a bunch of newbies attacking front side a little too early. And the main kicker for me is, it's 8:56 a.m. Where's this thing at 2 p.m.? Is it back at 10? Is it back at 8? Is it at 40? More information. Let people pay for the information, then I'll come in and scoop up the free money down the road. If this goes to 50 over the course of 2 days, then has the first red day. If it goes to 50 over the course of 2 days, has 3 red days and has the first green day. If it goes to 30, consolidates and has a breakout. There are potential edges down the line that I will have a lot more of a clue of what to do on it than today. Because, yeah, you can say it's up 300 something percent. Everyone's been squeezed out. It can't go any higher. Or the likelihood of it going higher is a lot lower. It's 50-50 in my eyes. And the real thing for me that I've had to learn over the years is not necessarily can I be like generally right, like okay, maybe 25 is the top, or it shouldn't go past 30. It's really about coming down to execution and making money. And if I tried shorting this thing today because it's up 300 something percent, maybe everyone's been squeezed pre-market. Even if I decided to attack that, 100 shares maybe is all I feel comfortable taking because I'm so scared of it going higher. What real risk level matters? Once pre-market highs are set, is pre-market highs the one that matter? Or then once that gets squeezed out and wicks through, then is it high a day once the open happens? It's just a situation I don't have a lot of experience making good money doing, which means even if I was right, it's not something I'm going to consistently be raking it in on. So for me, it's best just to sit back, gain as much information as possible, and maybe there's a play down the line. And maybe the real kicker is we haven't seen a gapper in the last 2 weeks of this magnitude. Maybe there's something that's going to run with it. Maybe this fires up the market for later this week. It's more of thinking out than thinking about SLNO in general.
Yeah, I'm just also thinking macro wise, where are we at with the SPY, with the Qs, and that's kind of been topic of conversation on Good Morning NASDAQ for the past couple of weeks because they look so ugly. But as we come out of October, which is again historically a poor performance month, things that have moved in September and October that continue to set up into that November month could look extra spicy, just given some patience and awareness of what has run well in this month, gearing up for a better month for further performance.
No doubt, no doubt.
So the next gapper on my screen is AVTX up.
That's the next one on your screen.
It's just on my screen.
Why don't we go to the one that's up 264% first?
I don't see that one. Which one's that?
FEMY. Is that not?
I don't know why my scanner's not picking that one up. I remember that one last night.
Let me just see.
Oh, I know why.
Why?
I have it now.
15 hours ago, they received U.S. FDA clearance to market Seed, an innovative infertility treatment solution. Okay, that's some interesting news. 12.8 million float. Overall risk of dilution very low, and they have 9 months of cash. Femesis doing a good job over there. Congrats over there, Femesis. Let's take a look. Chart. Pretty big gap. Did this happen after hours?
Yeah.
Okay, so kind of ripped yesterday at like 5 o'clock. Pretty much straight up from the 35-cent area into dollar land. Done a good job this morning of supporting that from yesterday. Pretty significant, consistent volume since it kind of started. And trying to break highs right now. What do we think about this daily chart? Let's identify some resistance.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing to first draw a line at would be that high from 724 that topped out on 182 million shares. And that resistance point is a $1.05. That's going to be a key level, over under a dollar. Whether this thing can hold up 200% and spike further, that would be kind of impressive to me. And so far on, decent volume, it has held that dollar area quite well, and we're spiking above it. So in my mind, I don't know if you want to draw conclusions from that, but that's the most important level in my mind.
Yeah, it's not necessarily drawing conclusions. It's about just becoming fluent in being able to identify this stuff. You pull up a chart for the first time. What is your strategy? How do you go about deciphering key levels? How do you go about deciding whether this is a spikeable stock, whether this is a beaten down stock, whether this is something that is more likely to fade, more likely to have a potential to hold up? And we're always looking at, whether you're using DAS, Schwab, E-Trade, the bottom part represents volume. And we're looking at the days. This is a 2-year chart where there is giant volume candles. That is going, as small cap traders, these stocks are generally speaking 95% of the time doing nothing. And that's when you can't even see the volume candles on those days down here. There's nothing going on. But the days that the stock does get interest, it does get PR, it does get liquidity. Those are the days that tell us a lot about the company, tell us a lot about the share structure, tell us a lot about dilution, and tell us a lot about what the company wants to do to its shareholders. And they give you huge levels of support and resistance that matter. What are you chuckling about?
I don't know. It sounded dirty when you said what they want to do to their shareholders.
Yeah, it usually is a pretty dirty thing.
Yeah.
And the daily chart tells us all that. So when we pull up a daily chart for the first time, whether it's Kellogg or Kyle or me or Huddy, we're all going through the same process. And that I think is the most important thing to start to identify. And the only real level of resistance that matters on this chart is that level that Huddy brought up, 105, giant resistance from just a few, last 2 months ago? And it's sitting there right at whole dollar, half dollars. You trade more, you're going to realize that 50-cent areas, $1 areas, they matter a lot. And $1 whole dollar tends to be a very significant level. And right now it's doing its best to try to hold over that. And we'll see where the volume takes us on this one. Again, not one that we're over the resistance. There's definitely a case to be made on a stock going from 30 cents to $1 with massive resistance there, that you could have that Gratani type of short into resistance. But now that we're significantly over it in pre-market and holding on good volume, I think it's more of a wait and see. A lot of people would probably ask me, is this like a breakout that I would trade? For the most part, no, but I have seen it work if prior resistance, this $1.05 area, becomes support and it's clear this morning. And you have the volume, you have a lower float, you have good news. If it's the right market environment on the type of daily chart with no real resistance that I don't really see going back on this chart, there is potential there. And I'd be much more likely to play something like this that is based off of daily chart levels than I am something like SLNO, where we're kind of just through everything and it's a wait and see type of thing. All right, now let's move to the stock you want to talk about.
Well, just in the back of my mind with Femi, I can't imagine a world where anyone bought this, in the after hours yesterday and is not immediately dumping their shares at market open. For a pretty sweet gain. I don't know how much. It's up 250%, right? Like, I don't know how much more anyone who bought this and has, any kind of average sub $1 is thinking like, okay, $1.50, $2 is next.
To the moon.
That would be a lot, but good luck. It'll be interesting.
Dude, don't hate the player.
I don't. I hate the game.
All right.
Are we on AVTX yet?
Let's do it for you.
Thank you. AVTX.
Run with it. This is you. Capital. Run with it.
Oh, it's me?
You wanted to talk about it.
It's just a gapper.
Up 28%. Go for it.
Yeah. No, I like these types of charts. Like, this is kind of in my mind like an e-bet type of chart where you have a stock that has a nice history of gaps, sustains a ton of its volume, tends to gap when it has big green days with a ton of volume. So kind of continuing that behavior there. So it's just a friendly trader, very thick in the way that it trades with a tight spread. So kind of those stocks that I like much more than, low float, what giant spread type of stocks. But those are all just personal preferences. We do have a gap up today based off some kind of PR that they have extinguished some debt, and this is an active stock in the penny stock world. Kind of conforming to that theme. And we talked about it yesterday at the end of Good Morning NASDAQ. What are we watching? And we talked about okay, the weed stocks. What did they do last week and what are they doing now? Because they were active, just a few weeks ago, and we've seen nice uptrends from them. And at the end of the episode, yesterday we talked about how this cheap stock theme is ever so present. And Dom, specifically said, when we do Good Morning NASDAQ, we're not here to trade every single penny stock that is gapping up from 10 cents to 15 cents. It just happens to be that every day there is at least one that's in this cheaper price range that's gapping. Now, most of them don't perform very well. Most of them fail. So, at Good Morning NASDAQ, we're not really, again, divulging plans. We're just identifying charts. This one has kind of held together better than most, has had a better run more than most, where it actually went for 3 days instead of just one and dying. And so there's more information here. I think it's interesting. But, as of right now, just getting into the chart, we do have we're going on to the third green day on the chart. So I think the odds of this continuing higher tomorrow are, not great. But if it does close really strong, then anything's really possible. But if it closes anything like 914, which is your last third green day, I think you're going to have, kind of a similar result going into the next day, just using the past performance to make some kind of judgment call there. So we'll really have to see how this candle closes before making any distinguishments for what tomorrow could be. As far as the share structure goes, I've done a lot of research on this one. I've had eyes on it for the past 3 days. The share structure is interesting. They have a massive at-the-market offering that they have been tapping into as of the past, 3 weeks. At the same time, they have an authorized share cap, so they can't actually dilute more than 200 million shares outstanding, and they're already in the 100-something area. So they are capped, and that is very similar to how TTOO kind of initially started to run, which is interesting. Similarity there. What else? They are not necessarily compliant with all of the rules to be listed on the NASDAQ. One of the main rules that they're trying to get compliant for is holding a price above 10 cents for 10 consecutive days. They got that notice on September 12th. If you count the candles, you'll count that each candle as of yesterday was 10 days above 10 cents. So, I imagine they're trying to pump this for a number of reasons. One of them specifically would be just to have their closing price above 10 cents to stay listed on the NASDAQ. They still need to get their stock price higher in order to meet other requirements that they are not compliant within. So it's an interesting pump job, in my opinion.
Very nice. And over in the chat, Dawson says, sold most of my swing I alerted here a few days ago on AVTX. It's pretty solid swing there. So congratulations, Dawson.
Yeah, nice.
A couple questions here. What do you guys think about another CGC run?
I think it's like just like you have to understand where you're at in this like framework of how penny stocks run. And okay, you had like a really nice run, and the patterns worked really well within the run. First green days went on to second green days, breakouts went on to second days of breakouts, first red days went on to second red days. Like it just performs really well in accordance to how you would expect it to perform, which is nice. And then after, specifically 5 straight red days, you got, your first green day again and your continuation day right after it. Again, conforming to what you would expect the behavior to be given specific price action. But now when I look at CGC, all I see is, 2-day uptrend, and whether it can, continue higher back into the resistance from prior, that's like anyone's ball game. I feel like the amount of guessing games you have to play just to realize that potential are very high. Whereas like maybe this 2-day uptrend was potential, but anything further into this confusion zone or dead man zone from the previous weeks is like, it's anyone's best guess, but I don't think there is a right or wrong answer. It's just kind of, there is no answer.
Yeah. 1 second, I'm just writing down some notes. I like to write stuff down when I think of it. Yeah, CGC, everything Huddy just said. I actually had a really nice trade on it yesterday. Playing kind of the bounce on the backside of these sector plays that have, in my opinion, kind of separated themselves a little too far from the breakout level to have any real shot. I mean, you're talking about $2 a share, and the lows being like 80 cents, well off its highs. At that point, this far into the backside, 1 sec, I have to sneeze. Bless me. Thank you. Really unlikely anytime soon that we get that breakout. So this is one where, this is what I try to teach in the room. Just kind of go through the exact criteria for the setups and understanding when to be watching these stocks and when to let them go. The only real play that was left on CGC up till yesterday was really just like a decent sized bounce on the backside, and just realizing that I'm not expecting this to turn into something that's going to 140, 150, consolidating, then breaking out right now. It still technically could. And just trying to take advantage of that momentum, just kind of with the idea that sector plays don't die as swiftly as no-name small caps that just get momentum and die and fade off. Because there is just more of a bid there, a little more hype, a little more interest. And so just trying to take advantage of that. But in terms of setting up for a breakout, I think we're weeks away, if not months. If that's possible.
The difference between like home run mentality, asking about CGC for a potential breakout. Like, I think that's a really, like, you're knocking it out of the park if you're buying it at 90 cents and you're seeing it at $1.80 like a week later and it's breaking out and you're in a good position. Like that's very unlikely to be within your wheelhouse, right? Like, unfortunately, like, it's just a very hard part to sit through and get to that level and be in, and it takes a lot of practice and experience, just like a home run would. But what is like kind of a single mind, that's not the right word, but like singles mentality, there it is, mindset would be, okay, like, what is the behavior of this stock? And it's kind of what I said earlier, right? Like that it has nice continuation, whether it's to the downside or the upside, when it's having reversal moves. So, acknowledging that behavior and that trend allows you to capitalize on these last 2 days. But anything further, you don't really have enough information to really have predictable power past this moment. So, taking it from pretty much 80 cents to $1, that's the opportunity, in my opinion, given the chart setup.
Yeah, it's just being able, this is all we're trying to do when we talk to you guys about daily charts. What we do specifically in the room every single day through our webinars and video lessons, we're not just ever going to be like, okay, I'm watching CGC, buy here and sell here. That's never what you're going to get with Clover. It's trying to make you, a fully functioning trader on your own, by yourself. So that way you can take what you learn from us and create your own edges and understand how to manipulate a daily chart and understand what is the next predictable move that's coming. And, that's, for us, when we look at something like CGC, we all kind of recognize this daily chart and we understand life cycle of penny stocks, and that, if this is going to work down the line, it's way down the line. And there's really no need for us to be kind of stalking something like this at this current moment in time. All right, let's see if there's any questions, and let's wrap it up. Been going a little bit. Someone asked about STSS. Pull that up, Huddy.
Yeah, that's the, I guess, the last gapper of the day that is somewhat significant. Had a stock that opened up at 60 cents. Nice big old spike at 8 a.m. to $1.24. 100% move. Sharps Technology. Never heard of it. Never traded it. Don't know much about it.
1 second. Yeah, again, daily chart. I really want you guys to get into the habit of doing the same type of thing we do here. Every time I pull up a new chart, we talk about it. I want you to identify, is there any resistance overhead? What's the overall trend of the stock? What's the volume this morning? What's the price range? Where are the important levels? Are we under or over them? Answer those questions every time we pull up a new one. This one nice multi-day run here. Last time I got volume. Topped out in the 160 area. Go back a little, see if there's any more. Relatively new stock. Since the IPO, that's where the main volume was. So this is one that I would think has a little less spikeability just because you have this recent overhead in the 160 area. If we wanted to, we could dive more into it. But again, another low price stock running off
Top
its
left to
lows.
bottom right.
What do we got here for news? Let's just pop in real quick and look.
Yeah, they're doing something with a syringe needle.
Purchase
And
agreement.
something with a syringe needle, and they're financing some kind of acquisition through a bunch of debt, which in my opinion, when it comes to penny stocks, like if you're taking on more debt, and you're a penny stock, it's probably not a great scenario for the future.
Yeah. All right.
That's just
well,
kind of
let's see if there's any. There was an off-topic question. Couldn't make it for Wine Wednesday last week. Can't find a recording on YouTube. Is there a recording on the channel? No. Management is all about algorithms, and these live shows are really just be there when it's live or tough chunks, unfortunately, because it kills the algorithm if we go and post an hour-long video and everyone watches it for 5 minutes. So I've tried, I promise, but they have rejected that. So really important that you guys have the notifications turned on for the Clover YouTube channel.
ring that bell.
Ring that bell. So that way when we go live, you are able to join as well. And if you want more of us, more education, more content, head on over to clovertrading.io. We have Clover Academy, which is free. So if you're just starting off, you're just watching. Oh, now, see? You guys see that? Management's in here. They're always listening. They're always watching. Talk to management then, I guess.
Is management really spying on us right now?
They're always there, dude. When we talk about it, I tell you guys, they're watching.
Gary.
What was I even saying? Yeah, if you're brand new to trading, Clover Academy is free. It's kind of your start. Theodore. Kind of gets you. Heidi, I'm going to mute myself. Tell them about Clover Academy.
That was rude. Clover Academy is a great place if you're a beginner to start trading. It's got all of the key terms and vernacular we use within the Clover chat room, and a lot of the basic information that you need just to be able to talk the talk and walk the walk. It's not the most full in-depth guide, but it allows you to have very good basic information about the stock market. So that's all in Clover Academy. We took some time to put that together for you guys last year, so it's all updated information. It's fairly recent, and it's the 5 of us between Kyle, myself, Dom, Jack, and Shorzy. So go on to the clovertrading.io into the shop, and you can find the academy. Again, I believe it's free. You might need a Discord.
It is free.
Need a Discord. But yeah, go ahead and check it out if you guys want some good beginner level information.
And if you want to just jump right into it, get involved, get into the webinars, the video lessons, the Huddy and Dom archive webinars. I don't know how annoying that is to you, but he sounds like a wolf right now.
I barely hear him.
Okay, good. Cloverchain.io, 7-day trial. Get involved. 3-leaf or 4-leaf. Get access to everything that we're doing. Ask us all these questions all day long, and we'd be happy to answer them for you. So get in there. You can't even see our faces, but get in there. All right, guys. And you says use coupon code equals free. So we will see you guys tomorrow morning. All the Clovers should be here. Wednesday morning, free morning. We'll give away our watch list. All the stuff we normally put in the Clover room. And then we'll have Wine Wednesday tomorrow night. So 8:45 a.m. tomorrow morning. Be here or be square. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate all the likes. Look forward to seeing you guys in the morning. Happy trading. Safe trading.